At the ranch, Victoria and Nikki discuss how nervous Claire was for her first day. Nikki reports that she proved herself to be a Newman through and through. She couldn't be more proud of her. Victoria beams, she really settled in that quickly? Nikki says it's like she lives inside her head. Her drive reminds her of Victoria. Her daughter is excited for Claire and wants her to live a full life, but for so long she's been unable to act or think for herself. She worries that all of these freedoms might prove to be too overwhelming. Nikki fears she's being overprotective. Victoria's worried things are moving too quickly for Claire. She just got her back and she's losing her again. Nikki thinks Claire is on the right path. Victoria will never stop trying to protect her. Nikki smiles that Kyle's looking out for her too. Victoria's sure Victor will try to interfere. Nikki's unconvinced. They seem right for each other and in time, he will agree. At Society, Claire debriefs Kyle on her first day at Chancellor with Nikki. He's sure she can do anything she sets her mind to. Claire muses that she was following the script the last time she was Nikki's assistant. This time, it's just her proving herself. Kyle tells her to take the advice she gave Harrison and believe in herself. Claire smiles. She's amazed that he has so much faith in her. Kyle asks why he wouldn't. After all she's been through, he's amazed by her. This is her destiny and he's sure she'll succeed. Kyle's in awe of her. Diane walks into Crimson Lights and Esther asks if she had a rough night. She replies that it's more like a rough lifetime. Esther knows this well. I've got this, take a seat. She brings over her favorite pick-me-up latte infused with holiday magic. Diane doubts even this can cheer her up tonight. Esther offers to listen to her vent. Diane appreciates the offer, but unless she can get people to forget her mistakes, she'll be living with her regrets for the foreseeable future. Diane goes over her doubts that Kyle and Jack trust her. They're the most important thing to her, and she needs to make them believe that. Esther says Mrs. C told her that people won't believe you if you come on too strong. She needs to stop pushing. At the Abbott manse, Traci comes down the stairs and has a moment of sheer joy as she looks around at the Christmas decorations. Walking into the dining room, she complains that a stewing Jack has lost his holiday cheer. He thought holiday decorating would brighten his spirits, but then he found his Jackie ornament. Traci laughs that it's seen a few things. She recalls that he made it with their mother. Jack's held onto the past the same way he's held onto the ornament. It may be a fatal Abbott flaw. Breaking the cycle will have to start with him. Traci doesn't like seeing him down like this and asks if it has to do with Mother. Jack admits he had a run-in with Billy today. He resents him and the way he's treated him in the past. When he saw the ornament, it made him think of the resentment he had for their mother. Traci had complicated feelings about her too, and so did Ashley. Jack muses that leaving them behind scarred all of them. Traci is also grateful for the time they spent with her at the end of her life. You were so close to her. Jack laments the wasted time, anger, and fury. He carried it around and never let it go until right before she died. Traci asks if this is about Diane and Kyle. Jack admits he's not so sure the situation between the three of them is resolved. Jack tells Traci that Kyle has lingering distrust and deep-seated anger toward Diane. He's not sure it will ever go away. Traci's seen love between them. Jack reminds her she left him as a little boy. He feels this whole situation is partly his fault. We lied to him. He recaps how they got him out of Victor's clutches by Diane playing a viper. It may have unearthed distrust toward his wife. Traci feels there's something else Jack wants to fix. Jack recalls that after their mother left they built walls around themselves. He doesn't want his son to go through life with the same anger and pain. Traci tells him there's only so much he can control. Jack says Kyle deserves valuable time with his mother and freedom from the resentment he's carrying around. At Society, Kyle and Claire banter. She compliments him, and they kiss. Kyle genuinely is amazed at how she has let go of the past. How does she not harbor resentment? Claire says her therapist helped her see there's no point in hanging onto the past. Kyle says she was stolen, there must be anger. Claire can work herself up if she fixates on it, but then Jordan wins. Now that Claire has her family back in her life, she doesn't want to waste a moment. Kyle muses, "So you're saying looking forward is a choice?" Claire thinks he can do it too. Kyle isn't sure it's that easy. At the Abbott mansion, Traci urges Jack to be honest with Kyle about what he's feeling and thinking. Jack tried to talk to him about the pain of abandonment, but when he expressed doubts about Diane, it upset him so much, he brushed it all away. Traci says Diane and Kyle will have to work out their differences together, but Jack can tell Kyle he understands what he's going through. Jack muses that Kyle's anger at his mother is justified, just like theirs was. Traci suggests he tell Kyle he's been there and is there for him to talk to. Jack knows he can't tell him his feelings are wrong. Traci hopes he can guide him to some kind of understanding about it all. Jack asks, "What would I do without you?" At society, Claire senses something is bothering Kyle. He starts to open up about his parents, but then doesn't want to spoil their date. Claire says couples talk about the good and bad. Kyle teases her for calling them a couple. Claire says her grandmother called him her boyfriend. It's been on her mind. Kyle would like to be her boyfriend. Claire teases, "This date has been very productive." She tells him to talk. "Your girlfriend is here to listen." Kyle says he still doesn't feel he can trust his mom. He can't let go of the resentment. Claire learns she hasn't moved out of his office at Jabut. Claire reminds him that the job is his. Kyle says she said awful things during the ruse. They struck a chord. Talking to her about it didn't go well. Claire is familiar with manipulative behavior and doesn't think Diane is lying to him. Kyle tried talking to Jack about it, but he just wants him to forgive and forget. At the Abbott manse, Traci tells Jack this will all work out. And don't worry about your feelings about the past. It's not a weakness, it's your superpower. Jack needed to hear that. Traci hugs him goodnight and urges him to go hang his ornament. They express their love. Jack makes his way into the living room and pours a scotch. Getting a faraway look in his eye, he flashes through memories of his mother Dinah. At the ranch, Nikki tells Victoria that Claire has more strength than she realizes. Victoria doesn't want anything to happen to break her spirit. Nikki spent so many hours needlessly worrying about her, but she survived many challenges. You found your way through, and so will Claire. Victoria thanks her mom. "I love you." At Crimson Lights, Diane and Esther talk about Katherine's advice. Diane doesn't think changing her behavior will get her anywhere. She's tried to prove herself, but people throw her past back in her face. Esther suggests she do the most selfless thing she can think of. Diane thought she had when she stepped down from her job. Esther is talking about a true personal sacrifice that people will find it impossible not to believe. Diane thanks her for listening and for the advice. She needs to figure out the ultimate selfless act that will give her Kyle's complete acceptance and forgiveness. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle and Claire come in and find Jack in the living room. Kyle asks his dad if everything is all right. Jack will speak to him in the morning, but there's no reason to worry. Claire says she should go. Kyle walks her out. Outside the door, she gushes about being a couple and they kiss. She assures him he'll figure things out with his mom and walks off. Claire arrives at the ranch and Nikki and Victoria ask about her evening. She says it was amazing. Nikki says she gave her mother a glowing report about her first day at work. Claire beams, "I love my life." At the Abbott mansion, Kyle asks Jack what's bothering him. Jack admits he's been doing a lot of thinking tonight about letting go of the past and moving on. He wants him to know he understands his feelings about his mother. He's been there. Kyle knows he has, but it's still a different situation. Jack wants him to know he doesn't judge him for having doubts about Diane. "I am here to talk with you anytime you need to talk about it. I love you, Kyle. Your mother does too. We want to be a family again." Kyle can't just trust his mom overnight, but he will try. Talk turns to the decorating and Jack prompts Kyle to hang his ornament, "For me, and for your grandmother." Kyle says, "You've got it." Jack tears up as he watches Kyle add it to the tree. It's perfect. Just perfect. Next on The Young and the Restless. Nate and Amy ask Denise Tolver to help find Damien, Sharon, and Nick make a shocking discovery, and Phyllis changes course with her revenge plot.